What's up guys, Shane aka MustyYeti here. In today's video we're going to be covering the RAS 47 from Century Arms. I first want to start this video by thanking Anthony and Dina. I ran into Anthony at the Canic booth at SHOT Show 2015 and he was a blast to talk to. I think I made a point to go down there every day to say hello, so I'm sure he remembers my face. I contacted him later about getting some guns from Century Arms to possibly test out and review. He then forwarded me on to Dina, who's been absolutely amazing to deal with as well. And they agreed to send me out this RAS 47 for testing. Now guys, for full transparency here, I want to let you know that this was sent to me absolutely for free. There were no charges. It gave me about a month to test this thing out, give my thoughts to you guys, and then send it back. Well, I've enjoyed this thing so much that I'm deciding to buy it. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to add it to the headquarters to my collection. Right out of the box, guys, I was blown away by the fit and finish of this thing. This thing just looks amazing and it shoots even better than it looks. I don't have a ton of experience with a lot of AKs. I do own an Arsenal SGL-21, a Waffen Works AK-74, and now I'm going to own this, and this is the best AK that I own and I've shot. And for the price point, it offers things that you're not going to get from any other AK from any other company. But you guys know that I'm an AR guy at heart. I love ARs, but this thing might have just converted me because, like I said, it's just been absolutely reliable and it's just a blast to shoot. So let's continue the review. Let's flip this camera around and show off some details of this sucker. Alright guys, so what you're looking at here again is the RAS 47, a stamped AK from Century Arms. This is a truly made American AK. When I say American made, I mean it. From the barrel to the gas block to the pins, the furniture, and even the internal springs. As most of you guys know, most AKs are built using imported parts kits that are then installed on US made receivers in order to make them 922R compliant. Which can lead to some issues with functioning and reliability, but Century Arms went ahead and stepped things up with this completely American-made AK. Now, if you guys are as obsessed with guns as I am, you've heard of the Century Arms C39V2 and how great it is. The RAS 47 is its skinnier little brother. It has all the exact same features except that this one has a stamped receiver, whereas the C39V2 is milled. So if you know and love the C39V2, then the RAS 47 is definitely something you should look at, as it's the same, but just a little bit lighter. Now guys, you might notice that this AK looks quite a bit different than your standard AK-47. That's because Century Arms decided to deck this thing out with the Magpul Zhukov furniture from front all the way to the back. I will say that this is a great addition to the AK. It makes it much more comfortable and intuitive to shoot. Now there's very little difference in any of my ARs and this AK in regards to the length of pull and hand placement. And unfortunately the same cannot be said for your standard AK with a small factory handguard up front. The Magpul stock is excellent and offers numerous features that make it worth picking up. The RAS 47 has a single tang and should accept any of your standard stocks. As for the Magpul Zhukov buttstock, it has an adjustable length of pull. You have up to 2.5 or 3 inches of movement back here to find what works best for you. Now I will say that the mechanism here seems a bit hard to work, but I've been told that it loosens up and becomes a little bit easier over time. Really hard to actuate. It also comes with a QD mount on the other side of this hinge here. I'll make sure I roll in some video so you guys can see that. On top of that, they also give you the ability to install 2 more QD swivels if needed, one on each side here. If you guys find it difficult to find a good cheek well to line up your iron sights and or a red dot, Magpul also sells risers that you can install on here. I think they have a few different lengths so you can find out what works best for you. Now for the best feature of the stock, it's completely collapsible, which obviously greatly reduces its overall length. And for those of you guys that are curious, yes, it can be shot while the stock is completely collapsed on the side of the receiver here. All you need to do is depress the button on the side of the stock here, which is flush, so you won't catch it on anything, and the stock easily folds to make a nice smaller package. Next is the Magpul pistol grip, which is a great improvement over the standard AK grip. If you guys have decent sized hands at all, that wood grip is very uncomfortable to hold and shoot. The angle of the Magpul is a little bit steeper than that of the standard wood grip, but the Magpul also offers grip texturing here on both sides, and also you get a compartment down here at the bottom in case you want to store stuff. All in all, it's a great addition and improvement over the stock factory wood pistol grip. Lastly is the Zhukov extended length handguard. This allows you to get your hand really far out there in front of the rifle and get a modern grip to help mitigate and control the recoil of this larger caliber. Now for those of you like me that do like to push your hand out there are some issues that you should be aware of when using the Zhukov handguard. Like all AKs, guys, we have gas venting out here where the gas tube meets the gas block. If you roll your thumb over for a traditional C-grip, you're going to most likely burn the crap out of your hands without expelling gas. Or you'll do what I did just once and touch your thumb to the gas tube itself and get a nice burn. Now that's a gripe with the Magpul furniture and in no way a reflection of the RAS-47, but it is worth noting. Like I said, it happened to me just once and it wasn't a big issue at all. Inside this handguard is a large aluminum chassis which does do an excellent job of dispersing heat and keeping the handguard cool. I shot this AK a lot and it was in the heat, probably about 85 or 90, and it was pretty hot outside. Now you could feel the heat coming through the m-lok slots here, but the handguard itself remained very cool. Speaking of slots, you have m-lok in several places on this handguard, which allow you to directly mount any accessories you might have, light lasers, VGs, AFGs, whatever you want. We have a solid row down here at the bottom, and we have a few on each side of the rifle as well. Guys, all of this furniture is a must-buy if you're looking into aftermarket furniture for your AK, and Century Arms includes it on the RAS-47 straight from the factory. Speaking of from the factory, right out of the box, this thing comes with 2 Gen 1 PMags. Now keep in mind, guys, these are the Gen 1s. These aren't the steel reinforced, but I've shot a decent amount through this rifle and had zero issues with the tang cracking or breaking at all. I've shot around 800 rounds over the course of a month through this AK. I pulled this thing straight out of the box. I didn't lube it, I didn't clean it, and it is shot absolutely flawlessly with zero malfunctions, using purely the cheapest steel case ammo I could find. Now, obviously AKs are known for their reliability, and the Century Arms RAS-47 is no exception. Like I said before, this is a stamped AK, not a milled like the C39V2. So we have a couple of dimples here, and they're on both sides of the receiver to help secure the magazine into place and prevent too much wobble from happening. Now, some guys want to know all about the rivets, if they are installed properly, if there's any deformation with the receiver wall. And as you guys can see, it appears as though all the rivets were seated correctly. There are no indentations where they were pressed in too tight. Overall, they did an excellent job of installing the rivets correctly. As for the specs on the RAS-47, it has an overall length of 36 or 37 inches when the stock is adjusted to its max length of pull, and about 33 inches when it's reduced or collapsed there at the rear. When you fold the Zhukov handguard, its overall length is reduced to 26 inches, which is pretty insane, guys. That's roughly the same length as my AR pistols with a 7.5 inch barrel, and even my Tavor. This AK is sporting a 16-inch barrel with a 1 in 10 twist and a 14x1 left-hand thread, and it's obviously chambered in 7.62x39. Now, she is a tad heavy, guys. The RAS-47 weighs in at 8 pounds 10 ounces, and that's partly due to the Magpul furniture, which does add a little bit of weight. This rifle, from front to back, inside and out, has a black nitride coating over all of its surfaces. This coating makes for a very nice and even surface color and will be very resistant to moisture and rust, which is far better than your standard AK finish. Something worth noting here, guys, on this AK is that it does not have a 90-degree gas block. Now, I haven't had a single issue with reliability, so I don't find it to be an issue, or do I care at all that it doesn't have a 90-degree gas block, but just some people want to know, and that's just something worth noting. As you guys can see, we also have a vented gas tube up front here, because as we know, AKs can be overgassed, so it could use some extra ventilation. So if you guys are in the market for an Ultimac rail or anything for this particular rifle, be sure to get the one with the vent holes so everything runs smoothly. Now, guys, I've heard a lot of critiques on this RAS-47 with its inability to hold a cleaning rod. It lacks the hole up front here or the lug to keep the rod in place. Now, this doesn't bother me whatsoever. I hit up YouTube and Google image search and couldn't find a single Zhukov handguard with a cleaning rod installed. I'm pretty sure, I haven't really looked into it, but I'm pretty sure it lacks the ability to even hold a cleaning rod, but I could be wrong. So either way, this is a non-issue as I can't install one either way. B, I gotta imagine it keeps the cost of the rifle down. Keep in mind you can get an RAS-47 with the wood furniture for around $550 or $600, which is absolutely a steal for the quality of rifle you're getting here. And C, I have never ever used a cleaning rod on any of my other AKs. For me, the cleaning rod just adds the overall look of the AK, and that's about it. The same can be said for the RAS-47 with the wood furniture. It also cannot hold a cleaning rod, but the same points are true. A, it keeps the cost of the rifle down. B, I've never used it. And C, I just don't care. All I care about is that this thing functions reliably and shoots well, and this thing fits the bill. At the end of the rifle here, we have your traditional front sight post, and we have a standard slant brake. And again, it has a 14x1 threading, so most of your AK-47 muzzle devices out there will fit this RAS-47. Just like any of your standard AK-47s out there, at the front of the front sight post, we have a pin that you push in to loosen and tighten the muzzle device. Just remember, righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. They are attached to a 16-inch barrel, like I said before, and Century Arms outsources their barrel production and have tight specifications to make sure that these barrels are made to what they want so they can shoot reliably and accurately. This rifle with this barrel should be able to produce some really good groups. I believe that Iraq Vet took this thing out and really showed what this thing is capable of at long ranges. And I do believe that Century Arms claims that this barrel is capable of a 1 MOA accuracy, which is great for an AK. Like I mentioned before, guys, the RAS-47 is the little brother to the C39V2, but it does have one major difference. This AK does have a scope rail mounted to the side of the receiver, which is a nice and easy way to attach an optic if need be. Century Arms does say that this is concentric with the rifle itself, which will make attaching and zeroing optics much easier. It also comes with what I'm going to call an enhanced safety. From the factory, it comes with this notch cut out to hold the bolt open if need be. Now, I know there are some ranges out there that require you to lock the bolt open, so that's a nice feature with the RAS-47. You can just pull the bolt back, lock into place, and you know you're safe and good to go. In this version of the RAS-47, they went with a standard AK-47 sighting system. I guess they've had some complaints with previous generations having windage adjustments on the rear. So that is gone, and they're now sporting the AK sighting system that you're used to. One of the nicest additions that Century Arms included with the RAS-47 is the oversized and extended magazine release. As you can see here, this enlarged lever makes changing mags much easier, especially if you're using one of the mags to actuate the lever for a quick reload. Gone are the days of swiping the mag across the magazine release and missing. I've noticed after a long day of shooting with my other AKs, where I strictly use my thumb to change the mags, that standard short, stubby magazine release kind of irritates my thumb and wears it raw a little bit. This larger latch is much more comfortable to use all around and is a very nice improvement, which I'm glad to see that they included stock on their factory RAS-47. Next is the trigger. The RAS-47 is running a proprietary trigger from Century Arms called the RAC-1. In previous models they were using the Tapco G2, but scrapped it for a design of their own. I do have a decent amount of trigger time through both this and the Tapco G2, and I will say that they are very similar, but the Century Arms trigger is really nice. You really can't go wrong with either. Now I will say that the Century trigger hands down beats the stock Arsenal trigger, which is pretty much trash for the money you spend. This trigger is really smooth to pull, the reset is very audible and tangible. I believe that this trigger pull is a little over 5 pounds. Let's just say once you shoot this thing, you'll see there's absolutely no need to change it out for anything else. Now let's get to the inside of this thing. It breaks down like any standard AK-47 by pushing the recoil spring in the back. We're going to remove the recoil spring itself. And while we're mentioning springs here, guys, every single spring inside the RAS-47 are Wolf brand springs made right here in the USA. And as we know, they make some of the highest quality springs out there, which add a really great value to the RAS-47. As for the bolt, as you guys can see, the bolt carrier has some lightning cuts in it, which some people don't like. I really could care less as long as it runs reliably. I should also mention that the bolt and bolt carrier have a phosphate finish as opposed to the nitride finish of the rest of the rifle. And as you guys can see, this thing is pretty dirty. I said I shot about 800 or 1,000 rounds and haven't cleaned it yet, so it's pretty dirty. I'll take care of it later and hopefully she keeps running fine. Now guys, I hope you can see inside there. I'll get a close-up. Some people have had some concerns about the trigger spring and that it's not coiled like most standard AKs, but like I keep mentioning, guys, this thing has ran flawlessly, so I have absolutely no complaints here. Now there might be some purists out there, oh god, that are unhappy with some of the features of the RAS-47, like the angled gas block, the missing cleaning rod, the lightning cuts on the bolt carrier, or even the Magpul furniture. Just remember, guys, this is an American-made AK-47, so by default, it won't be for one of you hardcore purists out there. Well, guys, that about wraps up my review of the Century Arms RAS-47. This is truly an excellent AK, especially when you consider the price point of these things. This model, the one you see here, comes in at $750 or $800. But like I said before, you can get the Century Arms RAS-47 with the wood stock set for around $550 or $600. And for that price point, it really can't be beat, especially when you consider the fit and finish, the quality, and the features you're getting stock with this AK-47. Like I said before, this thing was sent to me for free to test out and send back, but because it's been so fun to shoot, so reliable, I think this has become a new go-to rifle. So I'm going to keep it, I'm buying it, I'm adding it to the collection. So if you guys are in the market for an AK-47, I strongly suggest that you check out Century Arms and their RAS 47. Well, I think that wraps it up, guys. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment box below. I really appreciate if you guys hit the like button if you found this video informative. It took a lot of time out to the range to shoot this thing, and not to mention money, because ammo's not free for me ever. Subscribe if you haven't as well. I'm going to be doing some customizing this thing next, adding some things here, red dots, stuff like that. So if you want to see more of that, subscribe and check it out in the future. As usual, guys, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Okay, done. Done, done. Done, done, done.